Hey, what's up? Ultimate-Emu or Yui here, doing the announcement of Fallout 4 at E3 2015. I watched it last night at around 3 AM, early. And yeah, it looks very good. It looks insane. As just for my first impressions, I was very overwhelmed with all the stuff they were doing. And for those of you who don't know, the release date is November 10th, 2015, which is only 5 months' time, which I'm very happy about. I mean, I don't really want to wait another year before it comes out. Been very excited for this for a long time. So let's begin with the sort of story. You seem to start in a pre-nuke suburgatory in Boston with your wife and child, or if you're playing a woman, then your husband and child, with the threat of nuclear war imminent, and a Vault Tech man comes to your door and tells you you've got a place in the vault nearby, Vault 111. And then it skips to where the nukes actually drop, in which you just run to your shelter, the vault, and you get in. Well, it doesn't show, but you will, I assume, you get inside, and become safe from it. Then, after a significant amount of time has passed, you awake, being the only survivor of the vault, and you emerge out of the vault after first picking up a Pip-Boy off of what seems to be a skeleton of a scientist or a doctor, and you emerge and explore. This is where it begins. Seems that the first town you go run into is going to be your old suburgatory, where you find your old Mr. Handy, who explains to you that you've actually been gone for 200 years. Now, whether or not this is because of cloning or because of cryogenic freezing is not mentioned, but I'm going to assume it's cryogenic freezing because that's the only logical way I think of it, especially considering how other Fallouts have portrayed cloning, with the clones being basically failures of an experiment. So let's talk about some of the new features of the game, starting with some of the lesser features which people won't pay too much attention to but are still good. And I'll begin with the character customization. It's quite good. It seems that it's not done by a scroller like in previous games and there's set things you can choose. It's all very dynamic and you can really change the character how you want. I can imagine it being a bit tedious because it does seem to take a little while to change each feature of the character. However, I assume they're going to be default faces which you can just pick the closest one and then change that slightly to what you want. So I can imagine there are going to be some people who will spend hours doing this, and others which, like me, will just do it quickly and get close in 5 minutes time or whatever. One of the cool things about it is your baby actually changes depending on what you look like. I do like that, and it allows it to be a bit more immersive. So as well as this, as you've probably already seen, that you dog meets back your dog from other games. Although it is a different breed, it's still dog meat. And what's cool about him is he has a new AI, and I hope other companions have a new AI like this. A new AI can actually control his actions. You can make him go to specific spots, pick up specific things. I do like this because, let's be honest, the AI wasn't too good in previous games. Bethesda are not known for their AI. Well, at least your companion AI, they always seem to disappear. So hopefully you can call them and they will just suddenly appear. So, as well as new AI, what most of you probably have noticed already is that your character actually talks now, which is good in some respects, and others not so good. I can imagine quite a lot of people are a bit annoyed about this, because it's always been the silent protagonist in Bethesda games. However, I do hope that you can switch between whether or not he talks and whether or not he doesn't talk, because it does seem in the little gameplay they showed us that he comments on almost everything. Whether or not this is, for example, an examine button, and once you click the examine button he will do a little phrase or whatever to explain it to you. One of these phrases being sugar bombs, 100% of your daily sugar. So yeah, I mean, I can imagine that gets a bit repetitive after a while, because like it does in other games. Whether or not they've added loads of different dialogues for the same thing, I don't know. I do like the fact that they've added character voice. It brings something, a new element to the game. However, like I said, for the classic fans and also depending on what the voice is like, hopefully you can turn it on and off depending on your preference. So on to the next thing, which is going to be, you can now build houses, build shelters, build a settlement. And this is quite unique to a Bethesda game. I've never seen it before, and hopefully it works well. So how the building works is you pick up scraps from almost anything in the wasteland, i.e. broken glass, broken bottles, things like that, broken scrap metal and things, and then you can build a settlement out of them. And after building a settlement, people will slowly come, including traders and just merchants and things like that, as well as like just settlers and things. And you also have to build defences because your settlement can be attacked by raiders. Now, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Mostly because I've got an image that I'll start building it, like little dabble of building it, a load of people will come or whatever, and then I'll just completely forget about it because I'll be busy doing a mission or whatever. And one day when I go back to it, all my people will be dead. And I can imagine this will happen to a lot of people if that is how it works, or whether or not you have to be there to be attacked. Now, yeah, I can imagine that this would happen to a lot of people. And I was also really hoping when they introduced an app for the Pip-Boy, so that you can use your Pip-Boy outside of the game, inside of, like, on your phone or whatever, as a separate screen. I was hoping that they would do the same thing with this building. For example, you can build your turrets, build your base up and everything like that from an app on your phone. Mostly because then you don't have to be constantly at your base, your settlement building, because it does seem like that'll get repetitive, and also I'll completely forget about it. Just telling you the truth. And also the other thing I am hoping is because it did mention that some of the best items in the game will come from the traders that come to your settlement, which is kind of a bit annoying, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, it allows for a perk for building these settlements. It gives you a reward for it, essentially. But at the same time, I'm hoping that you can get these items through different means rather than just through these traders coming to your settlement. Just because, I mean, like I said, I will probably get bored with the settlement building and or forget about it. And so I don't think that these items will be within my grasp when I play the game, which is a bit annoying. But it does lead on to what else they've added, which is weapon modding. Now, weapon modding I always enjoy just because it allows for a new aspect of the game, and I have to say the aspect of the game to allow you to make a weapon how you like it, how you want it, what you think's best. And this seems to be a very, very, very customizable weapon modding. For example, he showed a few weapons being modded, and they seem to change significantly, i.e. a pistol turning into a full-on machine gun which looks nothing like a pistol, and being looking more like a rifle, which I do like. And obviously modding always has the aspect of being able to upgrade your guns and everything, and what I am hoping is that you don't need to mod really stand a chance of beating the enemies, just because that modding again kind of is a bit tedious, and especially when you have to mod to be able to stand a chance against enemies. As well as being able to mod weapons, you can also mod armour, it seems, so power armour and things like that. He didn't mention whether or not it was through if it was only power armour you can mod or all armours. I'm assuming that it's going to be all armours you can mod, just because keeping it just on the power armour is a bit annoying, especially because power armour is always way too heavy and a bit sluggish, and I can't really be asked walking around with power armour all the time. So hopefully you can mod all sorts of armour, not just power armour. Now, how the modding works is, it seems that with some modding you'll need a specific level to be able to mod it, a specific science level, which I do like, just because then you don't just get all the stuff at the very start of the game. You have to work to get it and upgrade yourself, and I mean, yeah, that seems very good to me, as well as the fact that nearly everything in the game seems to be something you can deconstruct to get equipment from. For example, when you're modding your weapons, he was showing that you were using a toy car, a telescope, and a coffee pot to mod your weapon. Now, I am hoping that this is unlike other games, and for example, when you are trying to build your equipment, build these moddings, build your shelters or whatever, you aren't able to find everything, like loads of everything, for example, the scrap metal, the glass, or whatever like that, and just struggle to find the one piece which you need. You spend hours trying to find this one little bit that you need to build these things. However, it didn't seem like this. It seemed like there were so many different things you could build that it doesn't really matter if you don't have that one piece you need to build one thing. You could just build something very similar to it, which I do like. And like I said, yeah, I hope it's not really that much of a struggle just to find these little pieces just to add this little thing to your weapon. I hope it's very simplistic and easy. So this brings me to the final thing they showed, which was transport. Now, I was pretty excited about this because I've always wanted to be able to transport and these nuclear powered vehicles and things like that. And there was two forms of transport they actually showed. Well, one was not so much a form of transport, but just something which you could use for transport. And the other was just transport. So at the end, towards the end, he chucked down a flare, and a dual-bladed helicopter came. Now, I can't remember what the name of these helicopters are, I'm going to be honest. But it came and picked him up, and he climbed on and got on the gunner. Now, whether or not this is just a one-time thing towards the end of, like, sort of the end game thing, or if it's just standard transport, it wasn't clear. But I do hope that it's just standard transport, although it could be potentially overpowering and you could clear out a whole group of enemies without even getting anywhere close to them, which could be a bit annoying. Well, a bit too easy in a sense. But I'm hoping that it's not like that, and it's just a form of transport that you can potentially use as a weapon as well. The other form of transport, which I was very, very, very surprised about, was when he was inside of his power armor, he had a jetpack. Yeah, a jetpack. And was just flying between building to building on this jetpack in what looked like a main city. So, yeah, that was very surprising, and I'm not really sure what to say about that. Let me know what you guys think. And that's so far about it. As well as all of this, I mean, the graphics have been improved, a couple of the AI have been improved. Death claws look freaking scary. At one stage, one picked him up and was about to shove their claws into your body. And it also seemed that the claws were retractable, which I have to admit do seem very cool, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to be seeing the AI where they're sharpening their claws anymore. The other one is ghouls. The feral ghouls, they seem to sprint at you, and it's quite nerve-wracking. So just at the end of the presentation, they showed a Brotherhood Initiate inside of a Pelican, the dual-bladed helicopters, being shot down by the player with a rocket, which seems pretty good. Looked pretty cool. So it seems that other people can use the Pelicans against you, which I like. So it's not just an OP thing where you're in a Pelican and no one else is. And other than that, I think it's all done. I think I've covered everything, and so I hope you have a nice day, and if you have any comments or anything you want to tell me about, please leave it in the comments below, and have a nice day, guys. See you later.